Hello.
What's up?
Welcome to to Trek in the Valley, the next generation. We are the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Next Generation rewatch podcast. Yeah, I'm Adam Ordall Quinnell, here as always with my co-host.
Hey everybody, it's Al Hirt. What's up?
Mr. Al Hirt, everybody. What is up indeed? How you doing, man?
Good, I'm doing well. Just this interesting break, beginning of summer, you know. Things are finally, I don't know, warming up. Feels better out here.
Yeah.
Just excited though for this next generation run.
Yeah, man. It is
it's definitely a switch up from the animated stuff.
It is indeed getting warmer, which is fine. I prefer I like the February, March weather in the valley. That's my time when it's like 50 degrees. I like that, but it gets really hot. I've been playing a lot of disc golf, and it's fucking when it's like 88 or 90 degrees out there, really sucks. But yeah, summer, it's coming. Isn't the first day of summer like June 23rd or 22nd or whatever?
I mean, I have no idea.
You don't know that. You don't know what
June.
you don't know. You don't know what the solstice and the equinox.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, it's like March. It's like March is the spring one, and then Anyway, yes, Next Generation. We finished our first 3 seasons of the podcast, and basically a 4th season of bonus episodes.
Yeah.
But we're here now with season 4 of Trek in the Valley, which just happens to be the first season of, we're going to do a rewatch of Star Trek The Next Generation, which was my first introduction to the series, just in case like people are coming to this not really having listened to our previous seasons because they like Next Generation and not the other stuff as much. I recommend you go back and listen to those because I guess it does something positive for us if you do. I mean, let's be honest. That's what I want. So now we are into TNG. And I think this was my first experience with the Star Trek, basically.
Yeah, a lot of people told me to start here as well.
I had probably seen... we had like Star Trek the Motion Picture on Betamax or some shit.
Yeah.
Like I probably saw that when I was 5 years old when this premiered on September 28th, 1987. Whoa. Also, I believe the year that Married with Children premiered.
Oh, interesting.
Peg Bundy, very hot. Al did not like having sex with her.
Yeah, geez.
Found her annoying just because she was his wife. That's the whole conceit is, yes, she's hot, but she's just, he is unhappy with everything.
No wonder everything looks so like in between eras, quite literally.
Yeah, dude, 87 was a really bad time for science fiction set design, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. It looks good. It looks pretty good,
but it was just like you can tell they hadn't quite got it yet.
Yeah,
we'll see it though.
We'll watch it get better.
For sure.
I honestly, I've probably rewatched this episode 5 or 6 times in the last like 10 years because doing different rewatches or whatever, or just to watch the first one, and it holds up. It holds up really well. It's still a great episode. And they were on such tenuous footing, I guess, making the pilot and shit that it's definitely good even for what it is, you know?
Well, people were saying too that like I was doing some research online, like what was the general reception? And people were like, there really wasn't like a way to find everybody's opinion online in the 87. So like people just kind of had their own take. The older fans were just saying though, like, we're glad to just have new Star Trek, be in a TV format. And then other people were like, well, it's kind of competing because the movies were still coming out during these episodes.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
I was like, oh, that is kind of strange.
Most definitely they were, yeah.
What's a good take is that they just found like a really good cast. Like that's what I was really surprised
they nailed
about.
It.
They really like nailed all the introductory parts. They feel obliged. You know how like when you told me to start Lower Decks, that first episode, it's kind of a smoother like way of where like I heard
they introduce everybody.
But it's like they say really long fucking lines that just explain, like Geordie LaForge's whole explanation, for example, about
when
his
he's like talking about the pain of his visor.
It's just like boom, like right off the bat, it's like, oh, that's pretty tragic, and we know that he can handle his own shit, but it just felt kind of not forced, but kind of old school, because like I heard that they used again some of the older scripts for this stuff.
I haven't done any research beyond I've watched everything.
Right.
But, so I mean, that would not surprise me. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but like, do you remember like your parents' general take on it? Were you guys psyched?
We liked it a lot. So I have a very vivid sense memory of watching the pilot because it was from like a time where we had the TV in a weird spot in a house that we only lived in for a few years. And I just remember watching it with my dad and thinking it was really good. And we always watched Star Trek. I fell asleep many an afternoon watching Next Generation reruns on WGN.
That was in the rerun game. That's what it was.
Yeah, and so, but we loved it. It was definitely definitely event viewing for us for sure.
Yeah, I heard it really picked up by the end because like the finale had like 30 million views or something like that.
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, we called them viewers back then,
right?
But yeah, nowadays I suppose it would be 30 million views. I don't know how many people watch Picard.
I did say viewers.
I just thought it was funny because you used it's. I thought you were using YouTube speak.
Oh no,
of the new
viewers.
Generation. Yeah, no, they it was huge. I remember it was a very big deal. And obviously not right away, but the interesting thing about it is it was syndicated, right? So it wasn't like on any one network, like Paramount or whatever, whoever made it and then sold it to all these different places to air in different regions. And yeah, so it was always kind of where were you going to be watching it? And for us, it was certainly event viewing. I can't remember like what night the new episodes were on. I feel like it was like Saturday or Sunday or something. But I could totally be wrong. Well, what day?
I watched reruns on TNT.
One moment, let me ask.
I don't know why TNT would just pick up random ass shit because they had drama.
Hey Siri, what day was September 28th, 1987? Let's see if she can do it. It was Monday.
Ooh, Monday night.
All right. So, and your introduction primarily to this, wasn't it Deep Space Nine the first thing you watched?
No, Deep Space Nine was the first series that I was like, oh, I get it. Like, I understand. But this one was definitely more traditional for me. People were just saying, start with Next Generation. But then a lot of people said skip the first season, but a couple were like, no, stick it through it.
Yeah,
the second season gets better.
We can't skip nothing for content's sake.
Yeah.
And
this two-part is really interesting because we have one of the best villains in Star Trek, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They kick it off
he's
really
not
hard.
A villain, though. He's not.
Well, yeah.
Q isn't a villain, I don't think. He's a well-intentioned trickster, I think.
Yeah,
he wants
true.
to
a wall.
He wants to trick humanity into doing the right thing. We'll talk about that obviously as we go. So we don't have a what does Al remember. Usually there's a segment on this where we do what does Al remember, but there's too much to cover and we already did it in the recap episode. So we'll give you a break, and just for the second half I'll ask you to do a little recap. At Trek in the Valley headquarters here in the San Fernando Valley, we get together. We're going to watch an episode of Star Trek and talk about it. It's not like a watch along though, because we pause it and shit, and we try to get through it faster than it is, if at all possible, but I doubt it. I fucking doubt it. And the pilot is a 2-part episode, so we're going to talk about the first half of Encounter at Farpoint. So Encounter at Farpoint.
Farpoint Station.
Encounter at Farpoint Part 1, and then we're gonna recap the episode, and then are we gonna do ratings like we did in the fucking old days?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, and then we'll give a rating. We'll talk about it, and then we'll give a rating, and then we're gonna recommend some kind of media or art or something for you to watch or listen to.
Since this is a twofer, though, we'll just rate it in the second.
Yeah,
one,
I'm just telling you the format of the show.
Okay, I see.
Not you. You know what we're gonna do.
I was just thinking.
You're on the show. No, I get it. This is good. This is some of the best riffing we've had in months. So there you go. So we're going to get into it now. Encounter at Farpoint Part 1. And I guess Part 2 also aired on the same day. They played it as like a TV movie special. They played it as like a TV movie special, I think. And the air date was, like I said, September 28th, 1987. The synopsis from Paramount Plus is: the crew of the Enterprise is put on trial by a mysterious force called Q for all the crimes of humanity.
That's like a piece of it, right?
Yeah, that's part of it. That's definitely like that's part of it. The mystery at Farpoint is, I think, the other part.
Yeah, that's a part 2, I feel.
I think it's funny that it's basically like two stories that are related but threaded together. Like either thing could have been one episode. Like either the Farpoint stuff or the Trial for Humanity.
Yeah.
Like they definitely, if they'd waited to do the Trial for Humanity like years from now, it would have been a clip show. Of like clips of them doing their Star Trek stuff.
True.
But yeah, that's a good synopsis.
Maybe they wrote that and they're like, Jesus, this is pretty dark. Maybe we should just add this other part here too.
Right? I think what they did was they went, we have to make, we're going to make 90 minutes of content. We're going to make 90 minutes of TV show instead of one episode, so that if it doesn't get picked up, we have something else to sell. They really like the syndicated TV model of the late 80s and early 90s is absolutely fucking fascinating. It gave us so many great shows like Hercules Legendary Journeys and Xena and all the Sam Raimi produced stuff, all the action-packed stuff, that the show about the time cop that's not the show Time Cop. Time Tracks. Shit like that. But yeah, so this all comes out of a rich tradition, not just of science fiction and Star Trek, but also of syndicated broadcast television, where they go, hey, we made something kind of cool, we believe in it, we'll let you air it if you share the ad revenue with us so we can make more. Yeah, and it was on it was like on TBS, I think, at one point in my area.
Yeah, it was on TNT. I don't know why.
I remember watching it. I remember watching it most on WGN, I think, for some reason. And we also should mention we're playing it now. It's the intro.
Sure they just get like a playlist of episodes, and they're like, these cover these topics.
I fucking love the Next Gen opening. I was working on the trailer. And so I've heard this a bunch, and I just love like the trills in the background and stuff. It's such a great, and how do you think this compares to the theme from the original?
This one feels like more cinematic. I feel like they've had their practice from the movies.
Dude, that is what I was going to say, man. I was going to say it's a much more cinematic fucking composition.
Not quick, it's not like boom, 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 boom like the last one.
Fucking Will Wheaton.
But this one's more, has more gravitas.
Oh, and I sidetracked myself because something else about us is sometimes we get baked when we do this thing.
Oh, yes.
And I forgot to mention that we're watching the 4K, or not 4K, but the 1080 HD remasters that they made in like 2009 or some shit.
Okay.
I remember being at my desk at my tech job watching the YouTube side-by-sides when they were like promoting this release.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit, it's fucking amazing, dude. Look at that crystalline entity, bro. I was like,
shit. I was gonna say this is pretty good for 87.
Oh, dude, the opening was all like all the remastered Enterprise stuff absolutely rips. Cool. And definitely
it wasn't just me.
And this is kind of the maiden voyage of this Enterprise.
Right.
It's sort of like first day. It's kind of like Star Trek the Motion Picture, but it's Kirk's first day back sort of thing, and they have this huge adventure. What a crazy first shot of Picard.
Yeah.
Look at this shit. 2.5 minutes in, he's like a He's a Shakespearean actor. They've got him framed in the light, and half of him is in shadow and the other half is lit. And, he's like, it is my job to find out that which lies beyond the unexplored. Oh yeah, he's talking about beyond this is the unexplored mass of the galaxy. He's going on their version of the 5-year mission or whatever. And he's walking through, checking in on all of the department heads. And this is before Colm Meaney, before what's his name? The Irish guy.
This kind of is a standard design now for the USS Enterprise too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, the TOS stuff, it's kind of taking inspiration, but again, it just kind of makes it all beige. I don't know. The bridge looks all beiged out. It looks like a classic 90s living room kind of feel.
Right.
Especially the captain's chair too. But I think it's like they're still trying to, they're trying out new things, and they're trying to figure out what kind of sticks and what's comfy. And it's kind of funny that you say that, that this is all, new and syndicated and shit. That like they weren't sure about anything, and like the crew kind of seems like on their toes,
Look how good the fucking HD bridge looks. Like,
it looks great.
Look how shiny Picard's head is, dude. Just fucking unreal. Oh, and so Colm Meaney, who plays bright. Chief O'Brien, Meaney, he's credited as Battle Bridge Con in this episode.
Oh wow.
He's not even fucking Engineer O'Brien. Definitely not Chief Engineer O'Brien. That is for sure.
From this episode, we have already like 3 big players. We have Data, who's an android, which is like a plethora of stories.
We have met Picard.
Oh yeah, that's true. So far,
and now Data.
And I mean, on the screen.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Then
Deanna Troi. That's like a new addition. That's really crazy too.
Yeah.
And then O'Brien,
a lady
too,
in a
we'll
skirt.
See later.
A lady in a skirt. We've got a Native American or possibly Central American helmsman. The future. See, and people say that Star Trek has gone woke now, but it's like, look at this fucking shit. There's only like 2 white people on the bridge.
I mean, yeah, it always has.
And Data's gold or whatever the fuck. He doesn't even count.
The whole shit is about differences too.
Yeah.
And like how people work together.
And this is where, so Picard has only been here for like presumably a couple weeks or whatever, getting shit ready to go. And Data doesn't, Picard uses the word snoop, and Data doesn't know it. And then he puts it together, and he's like, how could you possibly not know the word snoop? You should know fucking everything in history, you idiot. And
they're then like fucking going back and forth about the word snoop.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deanna Troi all of a sudden is like, I feel a disturbing presence.
I sense a great intelligence. And then boom, HD space net. There's a gigantic space net that surrounds the Enterprise.
And from the get-go with the space net, I was like, this already feels like the original series kind of plot. With oh my gosh, didn't we see one just like that with the cage?
Yeah, the cage.
It was just called the cage.
Yeah, the cage, and
like there were ships going across it and stuff, and Spock had to do some math.
It was more like Space Net.
Yeah,
that cage,
was wild.
But it was the cage, I think, was the episode.
And it was like electric and shit.
That's a lot to remember.
That was so nuts. But yeah, already from the get-go,
it looks fucking great, dude.
Yeah,
the HD effects on this net, this cage net. Oh, Tasha Yar, the security chief.
And then Worf was just on communications, huh?
Yeah, Worf is I guess he's let's see here. He's credited as he takes over after Tasha Yar, spoiler alert,
she dips.
bucks the kick it. And Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Worf. But yeah, he's on the communication spot where we would have seen Uhura.
Yeah.
But 5 years ago in Star Trek The Motion Picture. I love how the space net, it like weaves and stuff in front of them. If I ever want to dedicate, like if we do a Patreon, here we go. If we ever do a Patreon where we talk about like the side-by-sides and shit, I would be into that. That would definitely be good bonus episode content. Yeah. And then... What the fuck happens, Al? They got a space net, and then we hear a sound that sounds like a whoosh, And then a whoosh, and then there's a flash, and oh my god, what happens?
And there's some guy dressed up in, I guess some old school century.
It's like a Columbus era.
Yeah,
it's like I almost said Columbo.
Columbus era.
Crispy Columbo, the guy, the Spanish English Spanish guy who killed all the. He killed all the fucking, the people that he thought were Indians, but they weren't in India. Yeah.
So,
Evil motherfucker.
He basically tells them to turn around and come back where they came from.
Right? And then there's a couple of ensigns that are trying to approach in the turbo lift and a space net. So now we know. This space net is
powerful.
Is this guy's shit. It's not related to the shit that happens later, which I knew from having watched it a dozen times in my life. And so
it's
this guy...
freaky.
Introduces himself as and he talks about how he's a fellow ship captain, but I think he's having a laugh.
Yeah, and somebody tries to stand up and
phaser him.
Yeah. And he gets immediately frozen.
Yeah,
and this feels just like the original series, how quickly it happens, and it just feels kind of tense because people are dying.
So look at this shot, though. Look, you can see the roof of the bridge behind them. There's you never would have saw that shit in the original series. They never showed the area above their heads.
Yeah,
and the effect of freezing the helmsman is great. They get him to sick bay, but. This is where this guy
interaction.
So here we go. We get a tete-a-tete. We get a back and forth between Captain Picard, the 60-year-old captain with everything to prove, and then this entity. And this entity is basically saying, "Hey, first I like this. Picard's whole deal is, hey guy." Haven't you ever seen a fucking phaser before? It was on the stun setting. It wouldn't have even hurt you. You should have just let him stun you, dipshit.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to be captured by them. He doesn't want to.
Knowing humans the way I do,
sketched out.
Knowing humans the way I do, I shouldn't want to be captured by them.
Yeah, and it's just terrifying how he immediately just takes over the bridge. And it's just all tense, but this Q guy's kind of being silly, just being dressed up like this, right?
Right, absolutely. And then he hasn't even introduced himself as Q. We got to get going here. Hold on.
No, he said we call ourselves the Q.
Has he done that already?
Yeah. As he walked across the bridge.
So he says we call ourselves the Q, and he's basically, let's see.
So be it, fool.
And we're basically this is Kirk's first introduction to this an all-powerful seeming entity, and he's saying you guys can't come out here because they're going to explore further in this Enterprise. They're going to explore further than anybody's fucking gone before.
Yeah.
Like they say at the beginning. It's far.
That's
they're gonna far.
The point.
They're gonna go far.
They're exploring.
And this is the first trip out. And then there's a regulating entity
immediately
that just comes up and says, "Hey, you guys are fucking primitive, evil little shitheads."
We get a lot of Squire Gothos energy from him too.
Yes. Oh, there's so many all-powerful beings in the original series that are that Q is modeled after. And then Q goes, "Maybe this uniform will suit you better." So he turns into a World War II guy, and he's talking about patriotism. He's sort of showing just how savage and shitty mankind is. And then he gets to my favorite one. So
it's the post-nuclear war.
And then he says, "And then you learned how to control your soldiers with drugs." And his uniform is he's wearing a bunch of padding. He looks like he's going to be in a pugilist fight, for kids. They're going to bonk each other with sticks or something. And so he's from an era where they had lots of pockets on their vests. Yeah. He has so many pockets because you need your drugs.
Of course.
And
to keep going.
I relate. Yeah. And so that's that's a time in society when everybody, all the soldiers were on crazy drugs. And there he goes. He takes a little snoot. Q takes a little snoot of I want a vape on a thing, on a string like that. He's got your grandpa's got his keys on a thing on his belt that extends and then snaps back. That's what he had, his little Coke spoon.
Yeah, and it's this funny grid design too. And it's interesting that he picks a specific outfit Because it is a little precursor to what comes later to the court.
Yeah,
and that's how they end up being, in the what is it? They say the post-nuclear war. Where
it's
like
where
a bunch of people blew each other up with the missiles.
Yeah, so what we don't talk a lot about.
It's freaky.
So there is a so to get to the post-care. I like how John Delancey, who plays Q,
he crushes it.
I love how he's acting like if Q was on the future drugs, or I guess the past drugs in this point. But so Q says, Picard says something about you're just going to put us on trial for all of, because basically Q's saying you can't go out into the universe because you're primitive and savage.
Yeah, we just seen you be shitty to each other over and over and over again.
And Picard is like, that was hundreds of years ago, and he's like, centuries mean nothing to us. And then they just have to go about their mission.
It's like time is a dot.
Which, of course, so what was their mission in the first place, Al?
To just explore new space.
Well, they're going to Farpoint Station.
Oh, they are going to Farpoint Station. Yeah, so they're picking up somebody else too on the way too.
Riker.
Yes, they're picking up his first officer.
At Farpoint Station. Farpoint Station is a space station made by this race of people called the Bandi, and it seems to be exactly what the Federation would need as a way station between this part of the galaxy and the far part of the galaxy. That's why it's Farpoint Station. It's the farthest point where you would have a station.
But they're picking up Picard or Riker on another planet, right?
So no, he's at Farpoint Station. He's meeting him there. Yeah. He's picking him up. It is very much like a Paradise Planet, though, because it does. We find out more about that later. But this is what's so crazy about this pilot, right? Picard says, "Hey, we've got this because the Q orb is following them. And he says the thing that we have to do is we're gonna do the saucer separation, and we're gonna be flying at warp." And we're gonna and then the orb, the Q orb, is chasing them at warp 9.2, warp 9.7. And then what Picard's gonna do is he's gonna separate the saucer from the butt and the shoulders or whatever of the Enterprise, from the nacelles and shit. And the saucer's gonna whip around. Saucer's gonna whip around and shoot at the Q orb and distract it, while the rest of the ship goes on to Farpoint Station, and then they're gonna figure it out and meet up with them later, basically.
Yeah, so they have something called the Battle Bridge. It's given a little bit like Power Rangers, when they go into their little mecha morph.
Right?
But anyways, they do this saucer separation, and there's all this hype music.
Worf is going to command the saucer
Yes,
the
that's
saucer
right.
section.
Because they have to split up in separate teams here.
But this is a problem for a Klingon. Explain it, Al. Why would this be a problem?
It was because he doesn't want to escape when his captain goes in the battle.
Because he's a Klingon.
Yeah, but then this is where the beginning of the
officer.
This is the beginning of the awkward interactions here.
When so Kirk, many of them.
Or not Kirk. Picard's just like,
what are you,
wait,
baked?
But you're a
Kirk.
Yeah,
next you're gonna say Kirk and Spock
too.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. I flubbed a bunch of times earlier. Kirk and Spock.
It's gonna be like this at the beginning. No! We're gonna get it down though. Picard and Worf. He's just like, God damn it, you're a Klingon. Or he's like, God damn it, you're a Starfleet officer first. So relax, buddy.
Get saucering, boy.
Yeah, it was so weird because they always do a lot of of course. And I kept texting Adam. I'm like, they're going big. They keep going big. This is really big.
That guy's wearing a skirt.
And I was like, this is huge because it's like, first they go, oh, we haven't saucer split in a long time. Oh, we haven't saucer split while even moving, let alone going warp.
Well, this is a new experience for all of them.
And then it's like Picard is just pulling out all the big ropes, I guess, engage. To just get them all safe. And it is, I don't know, it's pretty terrifying the way that it is kind of like the Terminator. It's just endless. They can't stop it.
One thing that I want to mention before we get too far away from it is that Tasha Yar wanted to fight Q. Everybody wanted to fight Q. I love it. This guy is and afterwards, Picard is like, what the... later, Worf pulls the phaser when Q's on the view screen. I love it. What are you going to do? Picard goes, what are you going to do? Shoot the view screen, you fucking dummy.
Yeah.
And so they're going to whip the saucer section around. They're gonna zap some. Torpedoes. It takes a long time for these torpedoes to explode. Basically, the Enterprise shits out these torpedoes out of its cloaca, and then the head of the Enterprise is gonna break off and fly away.
The saucer,
and the saucer is gonna sep. They call it saucer sep. Sep is short for separative. Separation.
And
I know
then,
what it actually
I guess
was.
the bottom is just gonna stay, but it does break off at a really nice part where it's like,
awesome.
oh, hey, there we go. The saucer looks like a UFO, so that works.
It looks awesome. And they did saucer separation in the original series at least once, right?
I don't know.
I think that, oh God, if once we get people listening to this, they're going to be so mad. Why does the Enterprise look all shitty and beat up if it's brand new? I think they were just wanted to, when they did the HD remastering, I bet there's a lot of like, they added like scuffs and shit to make the Enterprise look more like rugged and like out in space adventure-y.
All this like exciting music. Meanwhile, like everybody on the battle bridge is about to shit their pants.
Yeah,
like, oh my
I
God.
love how you said it's like Power Rangers, the battle bridge, because it totes is.
They're like, no, we gotta get to the battle station, and that bridge is like a lot more straightforward. It looks like what is it called?
They got a lot of red lights.
It looks like there's going to be a lot of episodes like this too, and I was noticing in Enterprise as well because I was watching that. But when they always have the guest stars with the other people on their other Starfleet ships, all those bridges kind of look like this one. Their battle bridge.
Yeah,
it's like a little tighter.
Or it
there's
looks
less
like,
shit going on. It's dark.
It looks like kind of like the bridge of the Defiant.
Yes,
all those years later.
Thank you.
Now the torpedoes just exploded. You can rewind it. Listening to this episode out there, gang, and you can see how long it was. But yeah, those torpedoes took a long time, and then you still see them explode.
And it goes right back to zero music, dead tension.
Right. And
which is good. I mean, it's like you want the exciting part to be the saucer separation, it's hype.
And I love how Tasha Yar's like, we gotta kill it, and he's like, he's like, what are you gonna do? It's all powerful, and she goes, I spoke before I thought, sir.
Again, it's so weird.
And before we get to this commercial break, this is such a great cut to commercial. Picard goes, I want you to broadcast this in all languages. We surrender. We have no conditions. We surrender. And who is left on the Enterprise right now? It's Picard, Yar, O'Brien, and Data, and we just saw her, the counselor.
Oh, Deanna Troi.
Counselor Troi, yes. And then there's a big flash, and now they're in some kind of crazy court. What the hell?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the hell?
Dude, and honestly, they're all very calm.
Well, they are trained for just such an occasion.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure they read stories about the Hell Ship before making another Enterprise.
They know. Yeah, they know all about it. They had to learn that stuff at the academy.
Yeah, right.
So
the Corbomite maneuver.
Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa plays the Mandarin bailiff, and he's a great fucking character actor. He's awesome
he shows
in
up
this.
A lot.
So now they're doing this big showy court. They got the soldiers that are on drugs with wearing all the pillows and shit.
Yeah, and just loud machine guns.
Just shooting machine guns over the crowd like you do at court.
Yeah, and Deanna Troi is like, this is real. Like, I know it seems like something in the past. Because Data's like, whoa, this place is so accurate, guys.
And she's like, it's not accurate. It is the place.
And Picard's like, how? I mean, we're from the future. Like, what?
And we get into first. We're gonna have to talk about some fucked up holodeck shit later. But yeah, so John Delancey is Q again. He's Judge Q now.
Yes.
And he's wearing a crazy. He looks like a Souls.
Outfit's dope.
He looks like a Soulsborne character. He looks like an Elden Ring mini boss basically. Yeah. And he's being carried in by people on this huge throne. It's pretty rad, and it's also kind of out of focus. Even in the HD remaster, they just didn't have a 100% in focus long shot of him coming in. I love that shit. And there's a great shot from his perspective as he floats over the audience, and he's looking at the crew of Ye Olde Enterprise. Oh, that guy looks like Kyle Gass. And then Tasha Yar fights one of the drugged up guards. There's another guard comes in and shoots that guard. And the best part is the guard that gets shot like snorts a huff of his drugs. Right. And then he goes, ee before he dies. This is the pilot of a Star Trek series, gang. Absolutely unbelievable.
Really, really sharp left turn here.
And apparently this is a trial. And as we know from Star Trek, they at some point have to be on trial for all of humanity. And this is important.
Again, they're getting this out of the way right now.
Picard says, is this going to be a fair trial? And Q says it will be perfectly equitable. And that will be important later.
Yes.
And Q is talking like it's a foregone conclusion that they're guilty. But basically, they're charging, the bailiff reads that they're being charged with all of the bad
murders?
shit of humanity, all the murders of humanity, right? And then Data,
genocidal traits.
Data pulls up his lawyering skills and says, in the year 2036, the new United Nations said that nobody can be held responsible for the actions of the government of their past. And it's like, yeah, they probably would need that, motherfuckers. No Earth citizen could be made to answer for the crimes of his forebears.
Yeah, and then Q retorts, though. He says, object denied, because in 2079... more progress. The United Earth has been abolished, so none of that matters.
And Yar's mad because she grew up in a world that allowed things like this court, and it was impossible for her.
This is such a random line.
It was. I almost said it was Star Trek that saved me, but she says it was the Federation.
What it represents.
Yeah, no. She's really like drinking the Kool-Aid. The Federation Kool-Aid.
Imagine if she was one of the kids that were saved from that freaky planet. You know, the Children of the Corn kids, and then they had kids. And then Yar ended up being in Starfleet.
I think she's like a genetic thing. I think she's somebody who's had her genetic code fucked with. I could be wrong. We're going to find out later. I'm an idiot. Yeah. I'm dumb. Get off me, listeners.
No, but anyways.
So then they freeze her.
Yeah,
Q freezes Yar. And Picard is like, don't sentence her to... You're not going to sentence us to silence. And basically, Q is like, you got to focus on the trial, Picard. This is important.
He's
this
like, what? They're
just fucking important.
They're just going back and forth about like how they're gonna have a fair trial or not, though. And until Data like pulls a literal recording of Q guaranteeing that there is gonna be a fair trial,
right? And then he thaws out Yar. He's like,
it's so weird.
This is a merciful court.
Yes.
I love the audience, the crowd.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of little person actors, and they really, and everybody kind of. There's also very large people. Apparently, after a nuclear war, there's going to be tiny people and huge people, and that's it.
I guess.
And never the twain shall meet. So Picard lays it on the line for Q. He says, "Look, motherfucker. We have come a long way, baby. We are not, we might still make mistakes." And then this is where Picard says, present the charges. And they hand him a pad. And Picard is like, we weren't around for any of this shit. And then everybody goes nuts.
Yeah, he goes, I don't see how any of these charges apply to us.
We've been in space in the future. What the hell, dude?
And Q says, what is it? If anybody's found guilty, they'll just be put to death. Huh?
Yeah, he says, he says, soldiers, you will press those triggers if this criminal answers with any word other than guilty. So he's basically saying, how do you plead? He's asking them how that they plead. And then Picard says, I do plead guilty provisionally. And he says, has Data read back that they said it would be a fair trial.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Picard just calls him out on it too. He's like, look, you keep on delaying and denying us this trial. Like, are you scared that you're going to lose?
Yeah. And this is where Picard just throws down the gauntlet and he says, look, motherfucker, yes, humans have done shitty stuff, but you should test us. You should test whether this is presently true of humans. And honestly, it's kind of sci-fi wise sort of interesting because they would need to explain to an omniscient being that sees all of time, at once or whatever, they would need to they would need to really explain that to him, because they have a completely different view of time than Q, because he sees all of human existence as a finger snap, right?
Yeah, it's a piece of lint.
And so Picard, kind of taking on a lot, says, test us for all of humanity, basically. And that's when Q loves that. He loves,
I think he likes games.
He does like games, as we find out in a bunch of future episodes. And that's when Q says, well, I'll tell you what, Picard, you're going to Farpoint Station, and that shit is fucked up, what you're going to deal with there. So that's going to be your test. We'll see how shit goes. Allow the criminals to be tested. And then he gets dragged out while he's saying shit like,
so be it, fool.
And
savage life forms never follow even
that's later, but I love it. That's a good one. And then kaboom, they're back on the battle bridge.
Yeah, and like that.
And
what is it? Picard's like, oh my god, what the fuck? And they all like have this fucked up look on their face. And he goes, comms, what's our present heading? And O'Brien's like, oh, we're just going to Farpoint Station.
Why wasn't O'Brien with?
I don't know. Who knows? And for anything, honestly, it looks like it might have just been like a glimpse of a second. And he's like, whoa, I guess they're all standing up now.
He didn't have to work that day.
Yeah, right.
When they shot the court scene. He was sick.
And so then O'Brien's like, I mean, yeah, we've always been going there. What's going on? And Picard's like, well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, so here we go.
At each other uncomfortably.
Cut to an HD remastered planet, which is actually like a space. So it's a fucking planet.
Yeah, I'm confused.
But it's
a
space station.
Starpoint Station's one part of the planet.
Farpoint Station
Station
is built on the planet.
Right. Physically.
That's it.
Right. That's what I'm thinking too.
And so
it's not
then,
like a literal space station.
Then we get First Officer's Log, Stardate 4153.7. Kaboom!
Yeah, that looks
Billy
like we're,
Riker, bitch.
Mm-hmm. That looks like where what is it called? Spock lives.
Vulcan.
Yeah, Vulcan. It
looks like where
Vulcan.
Spock lives.
Where Spock lives.
But greener. It's actually very Vulcan-y. It's actually very red on Vulcan.
Oh yeah, when he's praying and stuff.
Yeah, when he's doing his
mountain stuff. And his Ponfar.
No, Ponfar is when he wants to fuck. I'm talking about the thing where he's got to decide if he's gonna be like a prophet, a priest forever. Yeah, Vulcan priest. And this is where we meet one of the most hilariously named characters.
Yes.
What's his name, Al?
What is it? Billy Riker?
No, not Will Riker.
Will Riker?
The guy who the bandy guy who built the station that he's meeting with right now. What's his name?
Oh my gosh.
It's
like Bandy, Ganji.
No, he's got an insane name, and it is... Oh, man, we got to figure this shit out, dude.
Zorn.
Yeah, Zorn, but he's like something else Zorn. He's like Blugel Zorn or something hilarious.
He's got a weird outfit, too.
He does indeed. So this Zorn guy is the guy who created Farpoint Station, basically to the Federation's specifications.
Oh, he calls him Groppler.
Groppler Zorn. That's Groppler Zorn. Yeah. I fucking love that shit, dude. And he's a stringy-haired goofball who's kind of hunched over, wearing robes. He looks like he's from Dune. Kind of.
Yeah, there's like draped robes, and he always looks like really comfortable.
Yeah, he does look really comfortable, even when he's freaking out.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll see him scream a lot later. But
so Groppler Zorn's a weird little goofball who's talking about to some apple creating entity, right? So yeah. Riker's like, oh, I wish I had an apple, and then there's apples there. And then Groppler Zorn is like, don't just make apples. And after Riker leaves, he's like, I told you not to make apples because they're going to ask. They'll be like, what? Where did those apples come from, Groppler Zorn? And then I got to explain.
He's like, you can't put yourself out in the open like that. Otherwise, they'll hurt or I'll hurt you.
Yeah, he's
fucking creepy.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was funny, though. I didn't realize Riker was just like, oh, there's no apples. And then a bucket of apples. He's like, oh,
and now we meet the most irritating character in Star Trek. I am on board the Wesley sucks train. I think that it seems like it's cliche to think Wesley Crusher is a bad character, but he sucks and is annoying, and Picard is right to feel uncomfortable around him.
It sucks. It's just the way it's written, you know. Then it's like his actions later.
Yeah,
and all that.
And he's such a bad kid. He's just a little fucking weasel.
He's in space, you know. It's like you think you'd be a little more careful because it's not like you can just turn around and go to the ambulance.
Yeah, dude. Or no, he like takes over the Enterprise and shit.
Oh, that episode's great.
He's a dick. But so this is where Riker and Dr. Beverly Crusher and Wesley Crusher all kind of meet, right? And this is so funny because Riker's like, Dr. Crusher, I think there's something weird going on here. And she goes, look, I understand that first officers want to impress their captains. And she just immediately talks down to him, and I fucking love it.
Yeah,
and then,
I was going to say, they all sound like they fucking hate each other.
They're just first day coworkers, you know?
Yeah.
And
she's
then,
like, I'm not going to do more work.
But then she's looking at some fabric, and she's like, thinks, oh man, I wish this fabric was like this. And then the fabric that she thought she wished was like that was like that.
Yeah, it's like laced in gold.
Whoa, that's what she said.
This would look cooler in gold.
That's what she said with her mind. And then the guy that's selling it stares Wesley down real good. And then
this part was funny though. Sorry, it was just one little bit where she walks off and she's like, have this charged to my ship. Charged to Beverly, sent to the ship, my starship, and it'll be for Beverly Crusher or something like that. And he was like, how do I know which one's your starship? What is it even called?
Right.
And she just walks away. But maybe the planet will guide him.
Yeah, oh, definitely, right? And she goes, hey, Riker, let's start again.
Nothing weird's
obviously
going
no
on.
She says there is something weird going on.
The kid is like, Mom, didn't you see that clothes showed you exactly what you needed?
No, yeah, he says she says it too like, now. She's like, yeah, we gotta fucking figure something out.
I guess we'll tell Picard.
And
he's like, ooh, Picard? You know the captain?
Kirk is like, Riker is like, you know Picard? What the fuck? And then basically Wesley's like, yeah, my dad died when I was a kid.
Dude,
and he brought his body home.
Yeah, and it was like, whoa, okay.
I wonder if it was. I wonder what war that would be.
This next part that comes up is actually hilarious too.
What war would that be? I wonder. Not the Klingon War, would it?
No.
You think it was the Klingon War?
Because
that was before.
The
Klingon War was before. What's it called? Before the original series. The Klingon War was before the original series. And this is when LaForge comes in with his visor and shit. And he's like, the Enterprise is here, but without the saucer section, sir.
Yeah. And so then
Star Drive section only? What happened? That's what it's called. Star Drive section.
Yes. But it's funny though, because Geordi LaForge, he walks up and he's like, hey, by the way, the Enterprise, and then Riker's like, is this an official report?
Oh yeah,
officer? And he's like, okay, Lieutenant Geordi LaForge is
Enterprise is on the way.
What the fuck is that?
and then LaForge goes, the captain wants you to beam up right away. And he goes, our captain doesn't waste any time. And LaForge wanted to be like, LaForge should have been like, motherfucker, you just made me do all.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're worried about the captain rushing you after you were up my fucking ass on day one?
Fuck you, dude.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know. That just felt very like, hey,
they're getting there. I like it. I like it. It's not established yet.
Well, of course, yeah. That's probably
the Enterprise
exactly
looks
how
like,
they meant for it to feel.
The Enterprise without the saucer section looks like a big tongue.
Yeah,
it's like it's sticking out its big tongue.
And everybody has like this terrified look on their face when Riker goes on board.
Well, yeah, so here's the thing.
They've like all dealt with the shit, right?
They've met an omniscient motherfucker that can destroy worlds and remake and put them in the past, in the real past.
The way they show it to him is probably the best way, though.
Yeah, just watch it on screen.
We literally can't explain what happened.
So basically, Picard is kind of cold to Riker. He's like, welcome aboard. Riker obviously thinks he's cold.
Out. Yeah, he's freaked out.
And then Tasha Yar brings Riker over, sits him down, and I love the implication. Like, I love it whenever they show video of what happened on the Enterprise and they represent that by just showing the edited footage that we saw. So the implication is there's cameras capturing everything that happens on the Enterprise, and we're watching a documentary.
And you can just cut it.
Right?
From the ship's recordings.
And so basically, Riker's getting a download about what happened, and I love that shit, dude.
And Picard's like, look, I'll be in my office. Whenever he's done, send him down.
Right.
And Riker turns around and he's like, that's some fucking adventure, huh? And everybody at the bridge looks at him and he's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, so Picard says we had a little adventure on the way here.
Right.
And then after Riker watches the video, he turns around and goes, he calls that a little adventure?
Yeah,
I love it. That's my quote that I'm gonna put in the I'm gonna have a quote at the beginning of every notes for the iTunes shit, and that was the one I pulled out. He calls that a little adventure. I'm glad that you caught that, or I was just gonna motor past it.
It's a freaky indication of like, I don't know how tense things are, and that again, no more music. He's just back on board. Enough of this silly Star Trek shit.
But
and Picard's like, we're here because we've been placed on probation, pretty much
by that god. Oh, and one thing,
a very serious kind of probation.
But he doesn't mention the trial because there was no cameras of the trial, right? That would have been fucking funny.
I think what they should have shown to like establish more time or something is like maybe show a shot of something else and then show Riker watching the end of the trial, but whatever.
So 2 important things about this Riker thing that I don't want to miss. Number 1, Picard is like, you got in trouble with your last captain because he wanted to beam down to a planet and you said you shouldn't do that. And then Riker says, you've been a first officer. You know that I'll follow your orders, but I will never let you be put yourself in jeopardy. And he goes, you think that you can fucking question your captain? And Riker's like, damn right I can. And he's like, I like a spunk. And then he says, also, Will, there's something I need your help with. I fucking hate kids. I'm very bad around kids. I just need you to make sure that I'm not like a dipshit around the kids. They put me on a ship full of fucking kids, you see, and I don't like kids. And then also he has like a weird relationship or past relationship with Beverly Crusher, and she's got a kid, so he's got to interact with kids all the time. And honestly, I've been a guy that was like weird around kids before. And so I kind of get it. It's like really uncomfortable to be around kids if you're not used to it because they're fucking weird little people. But then the second thing is he goes, or the third thing I guess is he goes, you're going to do the saucer recep, Riker, and you're going to do it manually. And they all say, manually? He goes, you're going to do the reconnection and you're going to do it manually. You're going to prove that you can fucking pilot ship.
And then he goes, wait, manually? And he's like, manually. Now.
And so he goes,
so funny.
So here's the thing. This is what manually means, though. Manually means Riker stands on the bridge and tells the people how many degrees of what to do. Like, that's not manual. Manual would be he's got an Atari joystick and there's like a little manual of what you have to do to fly through the rings on the Aliens game for the fucking Commodore 64.
But even Data's like, there's no automation, none at all.
Yeah, and Data, but they're like, but Data, you're automation and you're flying the fucking ship, dude.
And he's like, no, we're going to go ahead and do it manually. And they're also impressed.
What a great remastered HD shot of this. Oh my gosh.
And I guess he uses enough booster jets at this one part. And then he's like, hey, by the way, the nose angle here, by negative 3 degrees here.
And then he says, our inertia will take us in the rest of the way. And then it locks in and O'Brien smiles at Data, and then Data looks back at Riker like, who the fuck is this guy? And then Tasha Yar is like, Tasha Yar also looked at Riker's butt earlier. I forgot to mention that. Tasha Yar totally checked out Riker's butt after she showed him to the video screen. And then the Enterprise is whole once again, right?
And all of a sudden the theme just starts building up.
Oh, and then they mentioned that on the Enterprise, Oh, so
this is when they have their conversation. This is when
Picard made him do the. I'm such an idiot. Picard made him do the saucer reconnection before he does the thing with you questioned your previous captain, and before he does the thing where he tells him that he's weird with kids.
It was funny though because he goes, "Well, you didn't let your captain out of the ship one time," and he's like, "What's wrong with you, Riker? Don't you think a captain knows like what the fuck he's doing?" And Riker's like, "I care more about a captain's life than anything else.
Following orders. May I speak candidly?" And Picard goes, "Always."
Yeah, this is like, again, it's kind of weird. It's just this awkward tension of, again, that first day stuff.
He's testing him. Picard's obviously like an old bastard. He's fucking been he's been a captain for a while. He's the first officer. He knows all this shit.
Yeah, and then as soon as they cover that serious stuff, that's when he brings up, he's like, yeah, just one other weird niche. I hate kids.
Keep me from I'm uncomfortable around children.
Don't make me look like an ass around them.
They put me on a ship full of fucking children.
And then this is when what I was talking about initially, we get all
Tell
this
me about it, Al.
From all this action of this saucer separation and stuff, that random fucking test, and all that tension from leaving Q's trial. We need to introduce these characters, right? We've already seen Geordi LaForge a couple times, and you see a shot of his visor in the medical office, and I mean, what is it? Beverly Crushers is just asking about it. And he just goes on this really quick rant about how it's like, well, actually, it's something in pain. Yeah, it's I could see all spectrums of light and EV sensors, including this, and that. And then he's like, oh, well, there I go rambling. You already know what I have to do.
Right.
And she's like, well, I guess there's two things we can help with, like, the pain and the headaches and stuff. We can give you painkillers.
He's
like, nope, I've already tried that.
That would impair my ability to do my job.
Yeah. And then she's like, well, okay. And then the next thing would be
exploratory surgery.
I was like, damn. And she goes, let's numb the part of your mind that like is feeling that pain. And he goes, that's
Same
literally
difference.
What painkillers do.
Right? And he's like, no, thanks, Doc. I'm just going to have a headache.
Yeah, I literally don't remember this at all. I remember that he had the visor, but I didn't realize it caused him pain.
They figure it out. He gets upgraded versions of it, and then in the later movies, he's got contact lenses instead of a visor. He loses the visor before Insurrection. I can't remember. Oh, we're gonna watch those movies too.
Oh, word.
Oh, and this is such a great shot. So we've got they finally, because they've reconnected the saucer, right? And then Riker goes down to the Enterprise bridge for the first time, and this is a big fucking deal. This is like the flagship of the goddamn Federation. I love the skylight on the bridge.
Yeah.
That's like where they're like, this ain't your daddy's Star Trek. Like, your daddy's Star Trek didn't show you no fucking skylight on the ceiling. They did actually show, I'm remembering they showed the ceiling a couple times, but it always looked weird. And we always commented on it.
We did.
And then this is where Worf introduces himself to Riker, and Worf says, Commander Data is on a shuttle transferring an admiral over to the Hood, one of the other ships that's orbiting the planet where the station is. And it's an admiral that won't beam.
Yeah.
What?
And Riker's like, why wouldn't he
Admiral? He's been on board all day, sir, checking over medical layout. What? Medical layout? Why wouldn't he just beam over and then boom? Old DeForest Kelly.
Yes.
And you couldn't think of a better guy to have talk to a goddamn robot like Data. And this is, he's like, Data knows everything about Bones. And he's like, how do you remember that so exactly? And he's like, I'm an android. And he's like, I thought you might be a Vulcan. They sicken me. It's like, he's not even talking to a Vulcan, and he still manages to get his passive racism about them in. I fucking love that shit. Well, and he's 137 years old.
Yeah. And I mean, the way they get on his age is because Data's like, wouldn't you think just beaming over would be quicker? Like, due to your age, like,
I ain't gonna have my atoms scattered all over God's creation.
And I was like, he's beamed plenty of times.
Yeah, but now he's old.
But now I guess he's just not fucking with it anymore.
And he's important enough in the Federation that people just do what he says. People, right?
That's what's crazy.
And he says he's an android, and he says, well, that's almost as bad as a Vulcan. And this is where Data's like, I thought it was generally accepted that the Vulcans are advanced, most honorable race. And Bones goes, they are. Oh, they are. Fine, I guess. And damn annoying at times. I love him.
This is a nice little, like, bookend, though, to just the first I don't know. We're finally seeing a familiar character after all these new whiplash, at us.
I feel like this was supposed to be.
You treat her like a lady.
I feel like
she'll always bring you home.
Yeah, this is maybe a new ship, but she's got the right name.
Data's okay. Well, technically, I mean, had we not done -3 degrees,
it would have been destroyed. We could have just
been crushed.
So that's the end of part 1. McCoy walking to his shuttle, right? And I think that it's a
good ending.
But I don't think it was supposed to go there. I feel like that was supposed to be at the end of the entire thing.
Right,
but they moved it to the end of the first episode to get people to connect more to the original series.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's interesting that they even did that, because you'd think if they were going to do something like that, they would just be like mentioning Kirk and shit all the time. But they don't. We mentioned Kirk more than they did.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it kind of sets itself apart. It sets itself apart, and then it brings it back with that DeForest Kelley shit.
It's interesting though that you were gonna say that, but before my experience with Next Gen and all that, everybody knew Trek more as, I mean, I guess DeForest Kelley was good, but it was always Spock because of his ears. Then it was Kirk, and then DeForest Kelley was like, he's dead, Jim, or like, damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a fucking astrophysicist.
Yeah, dude.
It's like those lines always came out, but it's like funny to see him, as you said, just being super stubborn again and interacting with the newer characters. Like, you would think something this hype would happen later again. And the saucer separation and coming back together.
Saucer sep in the first 15 minutes of the goddamn series. And the guys who made the original special effects,
danger.
They were just flexing. They were sucking in the audience with those special effects of the saucer separation and shit. Even in the original version, I remember it being very cool.
And you feel Picard of really just trying to pull everything out of his ass to save everybody. It's freaky. And he looks like he has a despair on his face.
Yes, he's doing all of his Shakespearean acting. He's digging into the well. And also, I fucking that shot of him at the beginning where it's just the light across his face.
Yeah.
I feel like they do that when he's Locutus later. There's another shot where they mirror that, but he's Locutus instead. Fucking great show. And so that is part 1 of Encounter at Farpoint, the pilot for Next Generation. How are you liking it so far, Al?
I like it a lot. It definitely kicks up in the second part, I think. It's definitely more,
but there's so much like them talking in an office and shit. We'll get into that.
There's more like bigger things I feel introduced or referenced in that.
Yeah, and there's good creature effects.
Special effects. I feel like this kind of coincides with whatever was coming out in 87. It feels like a script that they had in the back lot for a Star Trek movie, because like you said, I mean, dude, we've seen so many of these episodes.
Go on trial for humanity.
It's like
what's
next?
Frankenstein. What's next?
Thing.
What's next? Are they going to be in a fucking menagerie?
Yeah, right.
Like, what are you going to do next? You're going to have them be in a fucking menagerie, huh?
And then we're probably going to find
Rick Berman,
an all-powerful one. Honestly, one of the best episodes of Star Trek was when they had like those memory CDs or whatever, and they put them in the player, and the guy from the planet was like, I've been taking everybody back to the past. No, wait, not that disc. And then they flew in.
Fucking.
Hopefully they do something cool like that. But I think the stiff acting is like the only thing that's holding us back. But that's because they're all getting to know each other too.
And
so it kind of helps the plot. Right?
Like I said, we do not do research for this generally. But I do remember when I used to just read about Star Trek and shit, they were on really tenuous ground when they were making this. They could be like fired at any moment during the pilot.
Jeez.
And same thing with like for making the first couple of seasons, they all were like living out of suitcases because they didn't know what was going to happen.
Weird.
So you definitely feel that in a lot of these early episodes, right? But I love it. I'm really excited to see how Q comes back and what happens in the second half. I know what happens.
Right.
I've seen it a bunch. So that's the end of our discussion of this for this episode, which is, as I said, episode 120 of Trek in the Valley. What? We've had like almost 4,000 downloads. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
That's like 40 each. But and so now, as always, we're bringing this over from the previous series.
Captain, Adam and Al are recommending things. I
repeat, Adam and Al are recommending things. What do you got, Al?
I just finished, and it just ended, The Rehearsal, Season 2. It's about Nathan Fielder looking into, I guess, airline or pilot safety accidents and why planes crash and how it's just basically about the awkward dynamic between a superior and someone who is.
I'm not trying to interrupt, and I'll let you finish. But we know why planes crash. It's DEI. Yeah, that's why. Like we know they fixed it. But anyway, continue. Nathan Fiedler, he's pointing out the communications between pilots.
Yeah, it's just communication between pilots, and then like people who are just generally more shy and people who are generally more blunt, and it's just like more diagnosing that relationship. But he goes to very extreme lengths for like aviation's sake. Yeah, and I guess you're surprised. I mean, he keeps surprising me, honestly.
Do you also watch The Curse? I guess he has an
idea. I haven't seen The Curse yet.
I'm not trying to keep interrupting you. I love talking about this shit with you, Al. I just love it.
I mean, obviously, I started with Nathan For You. I guess he had a little segue in not Colbert, but I guess some other comedy show too, where he like interviewed people in Canada, did his same shtick. He has like such a deadpan take on things, and it's really funny. But anyways,
he's one of the all-time great Rick and Morty guest actors when he plays the guy inside the miniverse.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wait, are they from that means that my life was a lie, and when I was working on my miniverse while my dad died. I fucking love it.
Yeah, and it's basically, his exploration of aviation safety and like pilot dynamics and how, things are supposedly okay, but not quite on the surface. So that's where I'll leave it at. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's like 5 or 6 episodes. It's pretty quick.
Excellent. That's HBO Max, The Rehearsal. I am going to recommend a video game, which I don't do that often. Typically, my recommendations are like anime or TV shows or movies or whatever, but there is a video game gets in there now and again, the Marvel Capcom collection, the fucking Turtles game, etc.
Yeah.
But Elden Ring. Okay, so I do play some video games, I guess. But one thing that I always forget is that when you're a PlayStation member, every month they do the free games, and those motherfuckers, they could just add it to your list and permanently add it, but you have to go in every month and add it to your library or you don't fucking get it.
Yeah.
And I did the Cowabunga collection last month, and that's pretty cool. It's Turtles in Time and shit. It's great. But this month, one of the games was Bolt Gun, the Warhammer 40K first-person FPS that's like a Doom style, basically. It's like a loving send-up of the 16 and 32-bit first-person shooters, and it's skinned with Warhammer 40K, and you're a space marine with a chainsword and shit.
Jeez,
it's fucking great. I'll show you a little bit maybe during the break, but yeah. So if you got PlayStation Network, well, actually, it's this by the time you're hearing this, it's probably not the free game anymore. But Bolt Gun 40K, Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun, it's great.
It's probably going to be on sale after this. That's what they usually do.
And there's a DLC that's like $5. It'll be cheap, yeah, for sure. I got a bunch of first-person shooters on the Switch for cheap. I got Quake 1 and Quake 2 for like $6. I think so I have recommended some games. Doom 64 I got for $5 on the Switch store. I fucking love that shit. But yeah, so watch The Rehearsal, and while you're watching The Rehearsal, play Bolt Gun on your whatever system you got it. And
Balatro was this year or month too, right? Sorry.
Yes, I added it, but I haven't played it.
Okay, I heard it was huge.
I just don't. What's it like? Poker
card games.
It's like, and then there's a Joker. I don't know. I don't know if I don't play
You'll
cards.
Get hooked.
I don't play cards. I don't play cards on the computer. I play if I'm on the computer. I want it to be like a little guy running around. And shooting vampires or something.
Balatro would be better on the phone too.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, I feel that way when I do what is it called? Slay the Spire. That was on PlayStation. And I feel kind of funky playing that on a big ass screen. It's like a dungeon crawler game.
It's like if you were playing. It's like if you were playing Vampire Survivors on a huge screen. It's like little guy.
Quite the same thing.
But yeah, so that's our recommendations for this week. Thank you for sticking with us or coming back.
Yes, welcome to 120.
We are so fucking stoked to go through all of the episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. And so that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to be covering Encounter at Farpoint Part 2. And I want you just to do everything that's in the bumper, like, subscribe, what have you, and we'll hear you next week.
Peace.
120. Trek in the Valley is brought to you by Adam Ordal-Quinnell and Al Hirt. The theme was produced by Al. The episodes are engineered by Adam. You can email the podcast at trekinthevalley@gmail.com, or you can search for us on Bluesky and Facebook as Trek in the Valley and follow us over there. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you do on your podcast apps. It really helps us out. And never forget, always explore strange new fucking worlds.